And guys, even though that's not a very heavy weight, my triceps are really getting pumped and I can feel the burn. Hey guys, I'm Mark McKilley with Live Anabolic, and today I have 5 great exercises to build big arms without using heavy weights. So a lot of guys think you either got to go to the gym because of all the great equipment there, or you got to lift really heavy and intense to build big arms. That's not true. If you pick the correct exercises, use the best form, and get that kind of mind muscle connection going, you can just blow up your arms. It's amazing what you can accomplish with really light weights at home. So you're gonna notice when I go through these 5 different exercises that 3 of them are tricep focused and only 2 are bicep focused. And that's because most guys don't realize that your triceps make up a bigger percentage of your upper arm mass than your biceps. And so many guys at the gym, even working out at home, just focus on bicep type exercises and they neglect their triceps, and then they wonder why their arms don't look really big like they'd like. So you can't skip the triceps. I know it's not as sexy of a muscle group, but they're actually more important when it comes to building big, impressive arms. All right, I'm gonna demonstrate the 5 exercises, and I wanna explain that you can do them 2 different ways, okay? You can do them in a circuit style where you do one exercise, then go to the next, and hit all 5 of them, all right? And then repeat. Or you can just stick with one exercise and do 2 or 3 sets of it before moving on to the next exercise. There's kind of pros and cons of both, but I'm a big believer in alternating between bicep exercises and tricep, and that's how I do it at the gym. The problem is, if you're at the gym, it's really hard to do circuit style because that means you go from one exercise to the next, to the next, to the next, and there might be somebody on that other exercise that you're about to go to in 30 seconds. So you can't really do circuit style at the gym very well, but you can do it at home easily. You're not waiting on anybody. So you guys get to pick how you want to do it, and I would suggest you experiment, okay, with circuit style or the more traditional, set based before moving on to the next exercise. But either way, doesn't matter which way you pick, I'm still designing this workout so that you do a tricep exercise, a bicep, a tricep, a bicep, and then a tricep. All right, so we're going to start off with triceps, okay, and the very first one is an overhead tricep extension. Now, kind of goes without saying, pick a weight that you can control the weight with good form through a full range of motion. Most of the guys watching won't go too heavy, but that's what I typically see at the gym with some of the young guys, and their form really suffers. So this is how I like to load them up. I just pick the dumbbell up and put it on my shoulder, and it's real easy to balance here, okay? Then I'm gonna put my hands under the flange, all right? And then just go straight up. And you have to kind of arch your back here to get that dumbbell behind you. And then I just let it go as far as I can. I wanna get full extension on my triceps and then straight up. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And if your triceps are burning, you go straight here to the shoulder. Now, I'm not using hardly any effort to keep that dumbbell there. And then I grab the handle and I can go down to my thigh here. Now, this is what I see people doing wrong at the gym, and typically it's the guys that are ego lifting. They get way too heavy of a weight, and this is all they can do. They go, they do these little half reps here like this. They don't go very far down, and they don't go very far up. And they're just struggling, oh no, and then they get here, and then they boom, and then they drop the weight. So guys, tons of studies out there that prove that the best way to build muscle is to use a full range of motion. The bigger the range, the better. All right, exercise number 2 is going to focus on our biceps. Now, I'm doing a slight derivation from the original name. The original name is called 21s. And with that concept, you do 7 reps with different ranges of motion. So you would do 7 half reps from the bottom, okay? Then you would do 7 half reps from the top portion of the range of motion. And then you would do 7 full reps, okay? Full range of motion. Well, back to back with no rest, that is killer, guys. And you can try doing 21s if you want, but for us older guys, I've modified it. I'm calling them 15s. So basically same concept, but just not quite as many reps, not so intense. All right, so you're not gonna be able to do much weight, okay? You're not gonna be able to do nearly as much weight with these bicep curls as you normally would when you're only shooting for 8 to 12 reps. Just due to the sheer volume, it's gonna really burn. All right, but you gotta do them simultaneously. All right, and I'm gonna twist the dumbbell so that my palms are facing forward. And I'm gonna start off with 5 partial reps at the bottom, 5 partial reps at the top of the movement, and then 5 full range of motion reps. All right, here we go. We're just gonna go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, man, that is a killer, guys. And be my guest, you can try doing 21s instead of those 15s that I just did there. Exact same exercise. But the key is, guys, you're gonna have to go really lightweight and really focus on the form and control the tempo. All right, now for exercise number 3, what are we gonna focus on? Triceps. See the pattern here? So this one is gonna be a close gripped push-up, all right? And when you put your hands together and you do a push-up, you really put a lot of emphasis on your triceps, more so than your chest. But the problem is it's super hard to do, especially for us older guys that are a little overweight. So this is how I want you to try them, okay? You can do a traditional standard push-up if you want with your hands close together, but most guys are not gonna be able to crank those out, all right? I wanna have you do them elevated on your knees, okay? So I'm on my knees, I got my hands close together, and I'm just gonna do a push-up. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. All right, now, some of you guys are gonna be way more advanced and you might be much lighter, smaller guy, and it's easier for you to lift your full body weight. You guys just do a traditional, elevated push-up like this, but with a close grip. 1, 2, 3, and knock out as many as you can up to 10. But that is really gonna hit those triceps. And guys, I'm just gonna bet that most people won't be able to do it the second way. Most people are gonna have to do it on your knees, and that is totally fine. The goal is to feel the pump in your triceps with that exercise. All right, exercise number 4 means we're going back to our biceps, all right? These are incline hammer curls, and the reason I'm doing incline as opposed to just standing straight up and down is because it'll put my bicep in a stretched position from the very beginning, and it just hits the heads of your biceps slightly differently. And that's what I'm shooting for when I put these workouts together. I'm trying to hit the muscles with different exercises that actually emphasize different muscle fibers, all right? And this is a great exercise, guys. You're gonna need an incline bench for this one, but see how my biceps are really stretched already here at the bottom of the movement. And we're going to do hammer curls. So I'm just going to be straight up and down. 2, 3. Look at the tempo, guys. I'm not swinging it up, I'm not jerking it up, and I'm not letting it drop down. I'm controlling the movement both up and down. That way I really feel the tension in my biceps throughout the full range of motion. If you try to yank it up and then let them fall, you don't get nearly the amount of benefit or the time under tension. So you squeeze and pull the weight up and then slowly lower the weight back down. And if you can't do it with this tempo, if you're having to go too fast or if you're having to kind of swing the weights up, it means you're just using too much weight. You need to drop the weight and focus on your form. Okay, the fifth and final exercise is, you guessed it, a tricep focused exercise. These are going to be Skullcrushers. And guys, you can do them either one-handed or two-handed. I'm just going to show you how to do both hands at the same time. But it's fine if you want to just focus on one arm at a time and do the right arm and then the left arm. But like everything else, I know I sound like a broken record. You can't use too heavy of a weight. You can really go lightweight and get a fantastic pump, but that comes from doing really good form and slowing your tempo down. All right, here we go. Bringing the dumbbells down so that the flanges basically touch my shoulder, just to the side of my ears. Push up, and I want my hands to be slightly over my head this way. If I bring the dumbbells up to here, directly above my chest, I no longer really have any tension in my triceps anymore, all right? All the weight is being held by the bone structure, you know, in my arms and shoulders. So if I stop at the top up here, then there is some tension in my triceps still. So straight down, try to straighten your elbows at the top of the movement, and then make sure your hands are slightly above your head. Okay, not here, but above your head this way. And man, it is tempo and controlling, feeling that weight in your triceps all the way down and then all the way up. And then try to really squeeze, flex those triceps and squeeze them at the top of the movement. And guys, even though that's not a very heavy weight, my triceps are really getting pumped and I can feel the burn. All right, so in concluding, there's 2 ways to do today's workout. You can do each one of those 5 exercises in the order I showed you and then start all over and do them again. That's a circuit style, okay? Or you can do 3 sets of exercise number 1, then move to exercise number 2, do 3 sets, then exercise 3 and do 3 sets, etc. You're going to get the same benefit either way because I was alternating the exercises between triceps and biceps. So either way you decide to try it, you're going to get that benefit. And the reason I do that is because, guys, once you hit your triceps with one exercise, I mean, they're full of lactic acid. That's what that burn is, all right? So they're not ready to go again unless you rest for a couple minutes. Well, that's time consuming. So while the triceps are resting, I have you doing a bicep exercise. So even though your biceps are getting killed on exercise number 2, your triceps are not being used at all. And they're basically getting a rest, even though you're doing an exercise, but it's focusing on a completely different muscle group. So that is my theory behind alternating muscle groups. And I've found that it works out fantastic, and you're gonna love the pump you get. And then finally, of course, guys, you gotta stick with it and never give up on yourself.